know it devalues the feeling that somebody who works hard and comes in first place, and it actually makes the person who comes in last embarrassed because they know they don't deserve it. So it actually makes them feel worse. It actually doesn't help. There are a lot of kids who got into honors classes, not because they deserved it, but because their parents complained. And they got A's not because they earned them, but because the teachers didn't want to deal with the parents.
Or support someone.
Then those kids graduate and they go to and they start a job. And in an instant, they find out that they're not special.
Responsible for the people. Who are responsible
that
for
you
the
don't
people,
get anything just because you want it. You get nothing for coming in last, and your parents cannot help you get a promotion.
And everything goes just fine. Get that chain wrong.
And in an instant, their entire self-image is completely shattered.
Inventing the product,
in an instant, the way they view themselves is completely changed, turned on its head.
Manage the numbers,
and so what you find is that there's an entire generation growing up with lower self-esteem than previous generations. Remember, they have grown up in an Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat world in which they are very, very good at putting filters on everything. They're very, very good at curating how they want to be seen. And we think they're full of confidence. They seem to have all the answers. They seem to be telling us what to do. At the end of the day, it's just not there. It's just not true. It's just not true. Their confidence is a lot weaker than before. They don't know where they're coming from. They don't know where they're going. They're unsure of themselves, and they lack the courage to ask. We say things like, "My door is always open," assuming that they have the courage
away from doing their job in order to protect
Number
themselves from their own leaders. That's
then
what that
we
is.
add in technology.
Those are signs of
There's a chemical in our body called dopamine. Dopamine is responsible for the feelings we get when we find something we're looking for or we accomplish something we set out to accomplish. You know that great feeling you get when you cross something off your to-do list, or when you win the game, when you hit the target, right? Win the client, get the promotion, whatever it is. That elation, find your keys.
I'll tell you one quick story. It's a true story that captures it just so perfectly. I was staying at
that elation comes from a chemical in our body called dopamine,
which is a wonderful
right? Now, other substances, other things that release dopamine include alcohol,
such a great hotel
nicotine, gambling. That's what makes us feel good when we engage with those things, and it's the root of a lot of addiction. In fact, almost every alcoholic on the planet discovered alcohol when they were teenagers. You see, when we now crave the approval of our peers, very frustrating for our parents, very important for us. It allows us to acculturate outside of our immediate families into the larger tribe. Very, very important, right? It's a time of high stress and high anxiety, and we're supposed to learn to rely on our friends. Some people, quite by accident, discover alcohol and the numbing effects of dopamine to help them cope with the stress, and that becomes hardwired, and then for the rest of their lives, when they suffer some kind of extreme stress, they don't turn to a person, they turn to the bottle. Right? Now, we also know that dopamine is released with cell phones and social media. So that bing, buzz, flash, and beep that we get from our phones that feels so good, it releases dopamine. We like getting it. Yes, we all hate all the emails, but we love the bing, right? We've all been in this position. You know, you're feeling a little bit down, you're feeling a little bit sorry, maybe feeling a little bit sad. And so what do? We send out 10 texts to 10 friends. Hi, 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 hi. And we hope that they write back because it feels good.
And the joke is, if I were to go
so now we have a young generation with basically unfettered access to social media and cell phones. We have age restrictions on alcohol, we have age restrictions on smoking, and we have age restrictions on gambling. We have no age restrictions on this other dopamine-producing device called social media or cell phones. It's the equivalent of throwing open the liquor cabinet and telling our young adolescents, I know this is a stressful time, try the vodka, it'll get you through these hard times. That's basically what we're doing. And so what's happening is it's becoming hardwired, where our young generation isn't learning the coping skills and coping mechanisms to turn to another human being when they're struggling or stressed. They're turning to social media or their cell phones. Their self-worth sometimes becomes wrapped up in how many likes they get. They obsessively check how many likes, how many likes, how many likes, and actually will get depressed if they don't get any.
About what leadership is.
You see them going out with their friends, and instead of connecting with their friends, they will simply sit and talk on the phone.
What's the hang-up?
Let me show you something that's really powerful. Can I borrow your phone, please?
A lot, which is
there's one right there in between you. Just let me borrow that for a second.
Most important characteristics.
I'm asking you to give me somebody else's phone.
Charisma.
You don't have to turn it on. I just need it. Thank you.
I know.
So let me show you the
spectacular
subconscious power of this
leaders who don't
device.
have big
What if I were to
Steve
hold my
Jobs
phone while
They're
I'm
just
giving
not.
this presentation? I'm not checking it,
And
it's
I know
not
some
buzzing, it's not
spectacular
beeping.
leaders
I'm
who
simply
really don't have a lot
holding
of
it.
charisma.
Do
They
you
kinda
feel like you're the
just
most important thing to me
shuffle
right
around.
now?
That's
No,
the guy.
you do not. And this is an
guy,
artificial
right?
environment. Now think about how
they're
often this
spectacular.
phone is
People
out
give
while we're
blood,
talking to
sweat,
other
and tears for
people.
these people.
Hey boss, can I talk to you? Sure, what's on your
Thing I am
mind?
comfortable saying
As
that